I'm ready to admit that I might have a problem now. Dark Bleatings, everyone. Now this is a mini book haul and I don't want to hear about it, okay? I don't want to hear it. I do realise that my last video 2 days ago was my FantasyCon book haul of like 40 books, something like that. And I do realise that having any other sort of book haul in for the rest of 2024 is ridiculous. But yeah, this wasn't my fault, alright? So just hear me out. This is a mini book haul, okay? And mostly these weren't my fault. These weren't my fault. So firstly, before FantasyCon, and this is like how long I was ill for, because it's taken me until now to be able to film this. I may have gone to a charity shop in town just to see if there were any horror books I didn't have, you know, that I could take home, give a happy home to. And I found two that seemed appealing to me by authors I've not read before. So I picked up Andrew Michael Hurley's Devil's Day. Now, I've assumed that this is horror because it's called Devil's Day. And maybe it isn't because the cover doesn't really imply horror, you know? But it does say, a superb storytell, according to the New York Times. Did I say words then? Okay, so this says, after the blizzard of a century ago, it was weeks before anyone got in or out. By that time, what had happened there, what the devil had done, was already fable. Ooh, it does sound like horror. Devil's Day is a day for children now, of course. A tradition it's easy to mock from the outside, but it's important to remember why we do what we do. It's important to know what our grandfathers have passed down to us, because it's hard to understand if you're not from the valley how this place is in your blood. That's why I came back with Kat. It wasn't just because the gaffer was dead, though that year we may have let the devil in after all. Okay, so yeah, that's why I picked it up. I couldn't remember because I picked it up a few weeks ago and FantasyCon happened and I've had a lot of books on the brain. So that sounds really good. I've never read this author before, I've never heard of this book before, but I really love that plot synopsis, and that does sound like something that's right up my street, you know, something devilish, something small townish, something like maybe all the townspeople are in on it kind of thing. I love that kind of story, so I'm really excited to get to this. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, because if you saw my last video, you'll see how much I have to read, as well as the stuff that I had before. Anyway, it's not how many books I may or may have not bought and collected and have still on my TBR. You know, it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I had books on my shelves that have been sitting here for years and that I can't stop buying more. It's just that it's not important. I also picked up The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor. I've never read CJ Tudor before, but I've heard a lot of good things, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this book. I've seen it on Instagram and social media a lot, and I'd like to think that I'm not someone who's very susceptible to being influenced, but clearly I am, because I saw this and went, oh, The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor, so I've got no idea what it's about, and the back doesn't really tell you, it's just got blurbs. It does say none of us ever agreed on the exact beginning. Was it when we started drawing the chalk figures, or when they started to appear on their own? Was it the terrible accident, or when they found the first body? So I'm very intrigued and excited. Now, okay, you have to excuse me for those, because I bought them before FantasyCon, and there was just no way, there was no way I could have known. There was no way I could have known how many books I was going to get at FantasyCon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link that video in the description for this one. It was an unhinged amount of books, okay? It was. But, I did know I was going to come home with a lot of books. But, you know, I was telling myself that I wasn't gonna. So at the time when I bought those books, you have to let me off. But these I didn't buy, okay? I didn't buy. So this one is 13 Cornish Ghost Stories, and my lovely cousin Cara picked this up for me and gave it to me as a gift, because I think she got a copy for herself and then thought that I might like it. And I have been talking about ghost stories quite a bit recently. It's the season for them, isn't it? So that was a lovely present, and so I can't be held responsible for this. I also can't be held responsible, even though I said yes to receiving these. So I did know that they were coming, but I haven't bought them or ordered them. I didn't go out of my way, okay? So that's why these don't count. So I have an anthology edited by Mark Morris called Darkness Beckons. I'm currently reading the Elemental Forces, which is another anthology from Flame Tree Press. that Mark Morris clued me in about, so I'm really enjoying it, by the way. My review will be coming soon. So this is another anthology, Darkness Beckons, and it's a really great lineup of authors on this one as well. We've got Ronald Malfi, Angela Slatter, Ali Wilkes, Stephen Volk, amongst lots of others. But yeah, this is, you know, horror anthology, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I really rate Mark as an editor. I think he's really good, and also I like his writing as well. And I also have from Mark Morris That Which Stands Outside, which is a novel by Mark, also from Flame Tree Press. So I really want to thank Flame Tree for sending these copies to me, and for Mark for arranging it, and also to Annie Knox, because I got so confused because Mark asked me if I'd received Elemental Forces, and then was told that they'd already sent me a copy, and I was so confused because I hadn't spoken to them. I was like, I don't think I got a copy of anything coming my way. And then I remembered it's because one of the contributors, Annie Knox, arranged that for me. And I don't know what happened, how fried my brain was, like in the interim between talking to Annie and between the book arriving, but I completely forgot she was in the book, or that that's where the book had come from. So I was real confused about the timeline, and I think that these actually may have arrived like a week ago, because I found them in my recycling bin yesterday, and the postman does tend to just not knock and just leave my parcels in the recycling bin. So yeah, I'm really happy I got these and that they weren't cleared away with the riffraff. So I'm really excited. This one, That Which Stands Outside, on an isolated Nordic isle, ancient forces awaken. I'm very into that. That sounds kind of Adam Neville-y to me, and you all know how much I love Adam Neville. And yeah, this is, you know, I'm assuming it's a book of assorted horrors. We'll see if there's a theme, a connecting theme when I read it, but I'm really, really excited, and I'm really honoured to be sent review copies, guys, and I'm such a huge fan of Flame Tree. Flame Tree and PS Publishing have really been doing right by me recently, and also Ritual Limited, Adam's publishers. So this is just so exciting for me, because when I started, you know, making my silly little videos, I didn't think that anyone was actually going to start giving me books. And so I feel really really fortunate, and like it's lovely to be in a position where I receive books from people, because, you know, I like books a little bit. But wait, there's more. So I sat down to edit this, and right before I started editing, there's a knock at the door, and who could it be but the postman? So I thought I'd, you know, rather than have to make a second video about more books, I thought I'll just throw it in here. I don't have a problem. Now, I would like to point out that I did just say that I pre-ordered Alexis Henderson's An Academy for Liars. So this doesn't count, okay? Because I ordered this like 6 months ago at least, I reckon. I pre-ordered it the second I knew it was being released, and the second that the pre-order link became available. So I have received Alexis Henderson's An Academy for Liars, and I'm really excited about it, because this is the biggest book she's done so far, and I like big books, and I cannot lie. And butts. I have no idea what it's about, and I would love to tell you, but as you probably know if you watch my videos, I really don't like to read the back cover synopsis if I can help it. I do it for the sake of video sometimes, but Alexis is one of my automatically orders the book the second it's released kind of authors, and I always go in blind now since The Year of the Witching, which I loved. I loved House of Hunger, so I'm super excited. I'm assuming that this is some sort of magic, because on the front cover it says, for those born with magic in their blood. So I'm hoping it's some sort of effed up wizard school or something. And at the same time, I was pleasantly surprised. I have this lovely Laid to Unrest from Red Cape Publishing, which I do believe was sent to me courtesy of Annie Knox. So thank you very much, Annie. So this is an anthology of intertwining tales, and I'm very, very intrigued by that, because intertwining short story collections, single author collections, yes, I've seen that before, but intertwining anthology stories, that's new to me, because obviously someone different wrote every story in here. I am a huge Annie Knox fan, so I'm really excited to read this. Obviously I'm going to read the stories by everybody else as well as Annie's, but this is basically a book of authors that are new to me outside of Annie. I don't recognise any of these names. And I'm very excited about that, because I always find new favourite authors in anthologies like this. So yeah, it's a lovely, beautifully presented little book, and I'm really excited. And it's not too beefy, which is quite the relief for me, because if you watched my last video, well, that'll make sense to you. So yeah, really can't wait to get stuck into those, and pretty excited about it. And there's no more now. I don't plan for there to be any more before Santa. And you know, even if I did make a list and give it to all of my loved ones, it's not my fault if Santa brings me books, is it? That's not my choice. I'm so excited for Christmas already. Can't wait to put my tree up. So I'm just gonna bleat off now and start reading some books, please.